Hi, my name is Doug McWilliams. I'm the author of The Evolution of Love. I just published a few months back. Have you ever had a difficult breakup with someone because you deeply cared about them as a person? You still wanted to be friends, but realized that romantically the relationship wasn't going to work out, and so they had a hard time understanding that. And then they kind of blew you off, cut you out of their life. Well, that's my recurring theme for me in my relationships. I can tell you honestly that I loved every woman I've ever gotten involved with. I still care deeply about them as a person, as I care about my friends and family. There's that level of love that I have for them. But for me personally, it's very hard for me to find someone with all of the qualities that I feel that I'm looking for in a partner. And so I've been in lots of relationships, and I got to a point in my late 30s when, after another difficult breakup along those similar lines, where she basically hated me after the breakup, I took a step back from dating because I didn't want to have this same story play out again and again. Did I get close to someone that I really care about, come to realize we're not going to be a good match together, and then have them end up hating me? Last thing I wanted to do in my life is go through my life hurting people, especially the people I cared the most about. And in that time of a few years of taking a step back from dating and reflecting on what is it that I'm looking for and why is it that so many people um, don't have a hard time understanding my point of view, why there is this fear of falling madly in love, and why we have such an emotional time often in breakups. To me, what made me a little bit different and unique to most of the people I talked to and the women I would get involved with is that I was never really too shocked when a romantic the aspect of the relationship didn't work out. I never really had an expectation that the romance is going to last forever. Um, and so this is, the lessons I've learned over lots of relationships, lots of, falling in love and breakups. Um, One thing I want to tell, one point I want to make right now is we've kind of been raised, I think, with a paradigm that I think is false. Meaning, specifically, that we were kind of taught when we were young from your parents or society, movies and songs, that, one day we would grow up and we'd meet that one special person that we were meant for, our soulmate. And we would know that it's the right person because it would be this overwhelming, powerful emotion, this experience of falling in love. And what I want to say is, the truth is, for me anyway, you're going to fall in love several times, possibly many times in your life. Oftentimes with people who are not a good match for you for lots of valid reasons. Sometimes with people who are a terrible match for you. And one of the women that I felt the hardest for, was the most overwhelming experience of falling in love, it was lust, it was physical. I knew hardly anything about her, but the moment I saw her, it was, what all the poets describe. And as I went on a few dates and got to know her, she was fine, but I realized we weren't going to be a good fit together. And yet, out of this myth, this paradigm that I thought, well, she must be the one because this is such an overwhelming feeling, I got my hopes up and my expectations. I wove this whole fantasy of how we're meant to be together and going to have this great life together. And when it, eventually fell apart after not long, I was devastated. And I couldn't justify it logically. Why am I so upset? Because the things that I learned about her were not going to be a good fit anyway. It was this false paradigm that you meet the right one and you just know it automatically. It's instinctive. And the point I make is that falling in love it's about mating, and because we are creatures of Earth, and it's part of our journey oftentimes to have babies. Well, it's a chemical reaction in the brain. Okay, it's not meant to last forever, and oftentimes you're gonna fall in love with a person who's just not a good match. So understanding that up front, what's there to fear? Know that when you do fall in love, if you do, it doesn't mean that you're meant to be together for any amount of time, let alone 50, 60 years. there are a whole lot of other qualities that you should be looking for to see, are we going to be a good fit together? And I list, 10, 11 of these different characteristics that I look for. And just to give you some examples, are we compatible religion-wise? That could be a deal breaker for people. Do we have the same kind of goals about starting a family? Time frame? How many kids? Do we want kids at all? Do we have similar values in life? I couldn't, for example, get serious about someone who was racist or other, just other values that aren't compatible. We need similar levels of intelligence. We need to have good conversation, sense of humor. So those are just a few examples. I know that this book can help a lot of people get over the fear of falling in love and get over the pain of maybe of past relationships. If you've gone through a difficult breakup or failed marriage, that can be hard. But I truly believe that my perspectives, and it's just different. It's revolutionary. And I make the point right from the outset that we all have different ideas about what it means to love and what we're after in life. And we're here to help each other. I'm going to share my perspective because it's different than probably what most people think of. And I know there's some thoughts in there, some ideas and some perspectives that will help demystify the whole process, help you come to a deeper understanding of what it means to love, help you define it for yourself, and a deeper understanding of your own human nature. It's important to understand human nature and psychology to get past this fear of love. And what are we here for? We're alive to connect to other people, to love as friends, as partners, and to whatever degree that you have fear of being hurt, you can't fully give love to someone. So I call it, the evolution of love, how a new paradigm frees us from fear so that we can love fearlessly, openly. So let's wrap it up there. Let me sign off by giving you my definition of love. To me, and I break this paradigm up into two concepts of love. There's primitive love, I call it. Romantic or falling in love. That's powerful and fun. It's a chemical reaction. But it's not the ultimate kind of love. I call it the evolved love. Unconditional love. And essentially, it's the same love that we have for our friends and family. It's unconditional. It's you care so much about that person that they feel like they are part of you. And I say that's the deep reality. We're all connected. We're all together in this life. And when you love someone like that, you want two things. You want them to be happy. And you want them to be free. And no matter how much you want to be with them for your selfish reasons, because they make you feel great and you feel like they complete you, what actually supersedes that selfishness is the desire to see them be happy and free. And if they're happier by themselves, they're happier with someone else, if you cannot let them go and love them just the same as a friend, then I say you don't have that evolved love. Then the magic happens when you have both. There is the primitive, romantic sparks and fireworks, and it's fun. But also there's that deeper, solid bedrock of that you care about them as a human being, and you want them to be happy. And so I say love, evolved love, is actually an open hand. You would never try to possess or use someone that you love that way. So I hope that makes sense for you. I made this book available on Amazon Kindle for 99 cents. It's as cheap as I could get it. I wanted to make it free because I want people to have better lives. I want a better world to live in. We can have that better world when we learn how to love better, without fear, without strings. And so that's my selfish reason for wanting to make it available so cheap. I'll put a link to the to Amazon below. You can get the actual physical book for about $5. And please, I'll keep making videos. Please subscribe and feel free to share my videos. I'm certain I can help a lot of people. So I hope that serves you, and I wish you well. You have a great day.